like that in a day and age where it's difficult to find content, people, you've probably just found me an extra video there. So shout out to you, Anthony, man. Shout out to you. BG, what if we use him as part of the Never deal since they already wanted him before? Probably, but it's the problem with that is where do we rate him? Because I would sit there if I'm Arsenal and say, yo, I'm not being funny. We rejected 25 million, so you rate him at 25. You're rating Neves at 35. Hold this 10 and let's go in it. If I'm Wolves, I'm not trying to hear that either, really. So probably you could look to use that same sort of logic. Would it be worth Arsenal even trying to do little, see what we can twang with Wolves and seeing if we could make more for Maitland by selling him? I don't know. Really don't know, man. And again, this is where I hope the man behind me, that not the player, the coach and the Edu and everyone have a plan. They told us they got a plan. They said they got a system. They got this and they got that and they got the third. Now we're gonna have to see it in it. We're going to have to see it. It's as simple as that. I'm really trying to find this mate. Ainsley Maitland-Niles can play midfield. I remember I read it on one of the live streams to you lot. Where is it, man? I can find it. Yeah. Found it, people. I found it. Obviously, this ain't the website that I saw it on, but stuff like this. So Arteta's clearly aware of what he's on. Do you get it, people? Look at it. Man said, look at it. How can you look at it? Let me zoom in a bit. So if I scroll up for you guys, Ainsley can play in various positions and do really well at fullback too. He's a very useful player with great speed, great technique, and passing ability. So for me, these two tell me you can play in midfield, but can also, he sees you as a fullback. Very useful. The terminology is not a coincidence. Like you can see here, he can play as an attacking midfielder because he's a threat every time with his runs. Why haven't you played him there? What is in his... Maitland, needs to have an honest conversation and say, why didn't you see me in that role? And say, in comparison to the others, what has a Smith Rowe or Joe Willett got in that role over you? But at the same time, why hasn't the manager been brave enough to play you in that formation? Do you get it, people? Sorry, people. I just wanna timestamp this because Arteta said, he did say Maitland Niles. I'll edit his name in a sec. Can play in midfield. So why not play him? That's it. And that tells me, this is what I mean about when I say he's doing the pep thing. When he gasses you, you don't really rate. He thinks you may be able to play as an attacking midfielder, but maybe not the one he demands. I would have thought Ainsley could do the pressing thing. Not probably as good as Joe, but it is what it is. And he's also said you can play as a holding midfielder. Now, obviously, Arteta isn't going to play him there because he doesn't have... Xhaka's not a holding midfielder, but clearly he's not able to get the ball off the centre halves and do that sort of thing. So he's not going to get a look in like that. Like you can see there, he said he makes good runs, which for me, all the first paragraph is just telling me you're playing as a fullback. He said he can play a holding midfielder. He can play a holding midfielder because he's played there a lot in his career. He's played a lot there in his career. It's good to have players that can play various positions. And sometimes, you know what, you've got to relish it because you don't want to be a jack of all trades, master of none, but you've got to relish it. Just lock it down. At the end of the day, you're playing for Arsenal. This is what you want. Lock down the right back, lock the centre mid down. I think the problem with Ainsley became he's not getting a look in midfield and he didn't get a look in fullback. And that's the manager talking up your abilities. So if I heard the manager talking up my abilities and all of the things I said previously in when we spoke about him slightly earlier in this live stream, this would tell me I need to move. But again, and obviously, I'm sure you lot remember. Let me see. Unai Emery, Maitland Niles. Midfielder, because if again it might not be here, but if you lot remember, literally that video, do you lot remember that video when Unai Emery took over the role? When he took over the Arsenal role and he name dropped Mavropanos and Maitland Niles, he gassed them. And man, you lot will have to find. I tried, people. You lot will have to find that one on your own backs, in it. But it is what it is in that regards, man. It is what it is. But again, that tells me the manager was a midfielder. He don't want to play you there. That's all you need to know. You can always prove a man wrong. You can prove people wrong, but It's a myth. Like, it's a myth.